Okay.
Hello, welcome. Hi, I'll just do a little intro, Pius. Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for coming along. We've got a really exciting talk tonight by Pius, who's from CTY-Africa. He's going to tell us more about this amazing project they're doing in Uganda to help school kids raise awareness about climate change. And one of the things they're doing is helping groups to plant fruit trees, which is amazing project. We need more fruit-bearing forests. So without too much further ado, over to Pius in sunny Uganda. Thank you very much, Pius. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Phoenix, for giving me this opportunity to communicate to the CEC community. I feel really treasured, and I've been following. Thank you for the great work you're doing in whatever communities where you are. We are creating centers for creating awareness and trying to teach people about climate change. I think I'll start sharing the screen. I don't know. Let me see how to do this. It is telling me it's unable, host disabled participant screen sharing.
I did put you in as a, let me just get to that bit. You are a co-host. It should be. I made you a co-host earlier. Let's try and do it again. Make co-host. Okay, so it's now you are co-host. Over.
Thank you very much. That's the organization and the project. The organization is called as Comrades to Youth Africa, that we abbreviate as CTY-Africa. And among the projects we have the Green Education Project.
Now remember, you don't push that in. You have to push lots of times.
I'm just going to mute Dinah. Carry on. Welcome, Dinah. Carry on.
So I would like to start giving a brief about myself as I'll continue. My name called Pius Comrades. I'm the team leader of Comrades to Youth, the organization that we founded in 2020 to start doing environmental impact work. Since we started, we have so far impacted reached 317 youth, and planted 297 fruit trees, and those include the mangoes, oranges, and the avocados. So just to give you a brief about the work we do, here in Africa, most especially in Uganda, East Africa, the communities that we deal with don't really know that climate change is existing. Climate change is rarely talked about this way. It is only taught on social media, and of which few people access the social media. We face the droughts, the famine, the floods, and the sea rise levels on those communities that are near Lake Victoria and Lake Choga. But you realize people don't really know that it's the effect of climate change. Actually, most of them attach it to God being annoyed with us sinning, and the only work they can do is going to church and pray, and nothing physical to do for the communities, for their communities to make the environment safe. So we realized that since this is our communities perceiving the effects of climate change, we needed to create awareness and teach the communities about climate change and how it's affecting them and what they can do to stop the effects of climate change. So when we sat down with my fellow friends that are the co-founders, we discovered that the best way to do this is to start with the young generation, the generation that is going to live ahead in this on Earth, and they needed to know how really to fight climate change and keep the environment safe for their future. So in that, for the over 2 years, we introduced the green education. And in this program, we sensitize to youth, like school-going youth, age of 7 and above. So that is a primary 3. I don't know whether I have such level there, but it's primary 3. Most of the 7 age are, the age that can understand what we are teaching. So we reach out to schools and partner with them. They give us space and they give us the children that are there in school, and we teach them about climate change and how it's affecting the environment. A research done by an organization called ISEC, International Students Environmental Coalition, asked youth about what the government can do to fight climate change, and most of them, the research says about 80% were saying that the government should introduce climate change education, people to know about climate change, because in the notes they have, they also indicated that most of the children they were asking didn't know about climate change, and the research, the data collectors had to teach them about climate change first. So they suggested that the government should introduce climate change curriculums and supply them to schools and communities so that people can know about climate change. And based on such research, and that's what we are doing, students are welcomed the research the projects we are doing. Actually, they want more, but the challenge is the funds can't allow us to reach more schools, because most students have recommended schools where fellow students have seen them doing some tree planting at home, taking seedlings, and they're like, why don't these people also come to our school and we also get to learn about these things? But funds can't allow us do that. In this program, we teach the students to adopt business ideas that can favor the environment. We teach that the waste management bit of it, and in this bit we look at how they can do packages that are environmental friendly from paper, how they can manage wastes, how they can do biogas. But the challenge is most of these things we are teaching them are a bit not applicable. They say they're not applicable in their communities. So we try to teach them about climate change and promote tree planting, because it's what we can do at the communities right now. Because when we look at these other business ideas, they really need to give them maybe capital, and they utilize these ideas we are teaching them. They are books we use. Unfortunately, I forgot to put a picture in the slide. Those books. There are two books that have a simplified way of teaching students and youth about climate change. So one is for a given organization, and one was developed by the UN. So those are the books we use. In these schools, we form clubs. These clubs help us promote the continuation of these climate education practices. For example, when we only meet them every Friday of the week, and other days the school told us they have Wednesday and Amanda and Wednesday evenings that are always free, and we were told to use this time to teach them, but the funds were not allowing us. So we encouraged the club committees to always utilize these times to remind themselves about climate change and whatever we teach them, and they are really utilizing this time in their clubs to learn more about the curriculum of climate change. As CTY, we look at it that since there is no awareness, there can't be climate change justice. But when there is awareness, and these youth are equipped to the knowledge of climate change, are equipped with leadership skills, and they can stand in their communities and fight climate change, justice can be there. We also believe that small steps by small steps can lead to something big. We can't sit and wait for the government and wait for the responsible companies like Total come and help in fighting climate change. No. So we decided to start small with a tree planting that is really manageable by almost everyone, because you can't say that you're failed to plant a tree. Seedlings are everywhere. Other trees produce the seedlings, and the seedlings are a bit cheaper. So we say that small by small leads to a bigger thing. We also looked at, as others are doing advocacy, as others are going to court, and others are going to streets to show the unsatisfaction of how Earth is bleeding. We decided that we can do education and empowerment, and also organize communities of young leaders, youth, that can really put pressure on their parents, on their leaders, to do something better. We realized in one of the schools, the secondary schools we work with, they forced the organization, sorry, the school administration, to separate rubbish. So they made dust bins that go with paper and that go with stationery, and those that go with other plastics. So that was really good for us, and we are like, so if the leaders of the club can see this and they can demand their schools to do this, it means we are doing something, however small we think it is. That's the brief I can give about the work we do, and I would like us to know more about the organization. And so, as I said earlier, we started in 2020. 2020 February is when I decided to call on a team of other 8 people. I sat them down. Actually, I say 8 because 8 are the only ones around, but I sat with a team of 15 people. I explained to them how youth are not going to live their dreams. The earth is bleeding, and anytime the earth can end and we won't achieve our dreams as youth. So we needed to do something for fellow youth to protect the earth so that they can achieve the dreams they want as human beings, having the desire to do something. In 2021, we registered at the government, at the district headquarters under the NGO Act. It was also a tug of war, as I've always had people registering the centers is always a bit disturbing. It's the same here, but we managed to succeed after doing some implementations, and the community development officers recognizing our work in one way or the other. So the registering became a bit easy. We look at youth empowerment and environmental protection, focused on empowering students to ensure environmental protection and also reduce youth unemployment by equipping them knowledge that is not equipped at school. One of the knowledge is climate change curriculums are not in schools. So we looked at this, that by giving them this knowledge, we are equipping them and giving them knowledge that they can use to make better decisions that can favor Earth's existence. Our mission is to empower youth, excuse me a bit, to empower youth with information and ideas to succeed in life and protect their future through environmental conservation. The vision is to produce a self-sustained and environmentally productive youth. Our values, sustainability. With sustainability, we look at projects that are really impactful, projects that can be taken over by the clubs, by the schools, because when you look at our approach of environment, we have the clubs that can stay in school, clubs that the schools can use to build on. Maybe if they have an environmental conservation responsible teacher, can use these clubs to go in collaboration. We look at collaborating with every partners that are working towards environmental protection of the youth, using their materials, sharing the knowledge so that they can use the very thing. Integrity, with integrity, we looked at the people we work with, the stakeholders, the donors, the schools, us being true to our mission that we are moving with, and a teamwork, working as a team works for us. Youth-led, working as a team, you go really far. And if you want to, as the saying goes, if you want to reach far, move with people. If you want to just move quickly, move alone. Youth-led, we look at solutions that are with youth for the youth. Our location, as I earlier said, we are in Uganda. Uganda is in East Africa, and in Uganda, we are particularly located in the Mayuge district. When you look at Lake Victoria on the map, there's Mayuge district is among the districts that are attached, are bordering with Lake Victoria. The project I've been talking about is the education, green education. So this is a picture of these young students blessing a tree they had planted. It was for last year in the third quarter. It's one of the pictures I decided to share. I don't know why the quality has gone down when I put when I shared the screen.
It's okay. So, looks good.
Thank you. So to talk about the green education itself, the organization aims at sensitizing school-going children from the age of 7 about climate change, how its effects and how it can be fought. We look at, in this part, we'll have 2 sectors or 2 activities that we carry out in this particular program. That is sensitization, that involves teaching children about climate change topic, how it's affecting our daily activities, how it's affecting the way food is being produced at home in the gardens. Drought is hitting us. And the other bit of it is the tree planting, whereby our intention as when you look at the model of the project, is that to create nursery beds at school that we later distribute to these people, to the students to go and plant, but that becomes a challenge. So we buy these fruit trees twice a year because we have 2 seasons in Uganda, planting seasons, and they are also diminishing slowly because nowadays we have abrupt rains. If you check, this January we are having rains, and last January we had sunshine. So it is a bit changing, and it's also, they also see, we use those simple examples to show them that climate change is not favoring us. And the reason why we went for trees, particularly fruit trees, is because they help in our absorbing the carbon. We can't, at our level, we can't think of the technology that can absorb carbon from the atmosphere, but we realized we can do small by planting trees that are natural carbon absorbers from the atmosphere too. We look at fruits as a source of nutrition. In the communities where we work, one of the challenges that face the young children in the community is nutrition, which we can't directly go for, but by offering the fruit trees, at least they can get some nutrition from the fruits that they get from our projects, get something. Then we also looked at a source of income to these families of these youth, because when a family gets around 20 fruit trees, maybe they can harvest in plenty and sell and get some source of income. So we looked at this as, we looked at the last two as encouragements of parents allowing these youth to plant trees in their land, because parents were really hard to teach about climate change. For most parents, as I told you earlier, they think climate change was meant to happen and it will happen because it's God's willingness to happen, which is not the cause. It's we human beings creating this. Our impacts on this project in these years that we have implemented, we are with 2 schools, but these schools offer us a different class each year. It seems the very class, but it has different people. For example, you see, we are dealing with grade 1 students every year and grade 2 students. Every year, grade 2 and grade 1 students change. So we have a specific number that we are a unique number of students that we are always reaching out every year. So in these schools, there is a secondary school and there is a primary school. We have so far reached 317 students under the Green Education Project, and we have so far planted 297 trees. It was estimated that at least every student plants a tree, but we realize some of the students don't have land. They don't have enough land to plant enough trees or to allow them plant trees at their home. So we encourage them to get a place either at the hospital, at the district headquarters, where they can plant a tree, but it happened that some didn't manage. So that's why we have this number compared to the number of students we have reached. And it is estimated that 65% of the trees have grown. It's because we have reached these trees. That the volunteers, my fellow members have reached these homes and witnessed this number of trees. But in this month and the next month, they'll reach more homes, so the number will grow. If there happens that the trees grew, the number or the percentage will increase. Our plan that has always been had, our plan is to at least reach 20 schools per year, and at each school to get 50 students per school. So at least every school will have a club, and we plan that at least a student plants 10 trees, and those are 5 per rainy season. At least that's our plan, though we are trying to catch up with it. Where I work, my boss always tells me that plans are put there to give us a direction. So when you don't achieve it and you have serious reasons why you didn't achieve them, it's better. But it's funny to put a small target that you can achieve and relax for almost 6 months. Our other and future projects come here. We have specifically 2 projects that we are running. That is the one is students empowerment. In this project, we have the leadership and entrepreneurship bit of it. It engages youth in a 1-year course to equip them with the leadership and entrepreneurship and employment skills. This one is particularly to fight unemployment, because when I came out of school, I love this project, because when I came out of school, I realized I have nothing to offer to the community. And community only welcomes you when you have something you offer to it. If you don't have anything to offer to community, it will always reject you. And once it rejects you, that's when you see drug addiction, you see like funny groups of thugs. But when you have something that you can offer to the community welcomes you very well. An example, if you have maybe a skill that you can offer to a company, maybe you have an idea of business that you can put in place, community will always welcome you and give you whatever you want. But the moment you have nothing to offer to the community, you'll always have to become a burden to the community. The other bit of mentorship is mentorship to connect students and teachers. Here, I don't know, when you check in schools here, students and teachers have a big gap. But when a student is a teacher is a mentor of a student, it gives them that personal relationship, and the teacher can use this opportunity to really understand their students and give them the best advice to live with in life. The business skills, this one involves giving skills in financial literacy and business, technical skills, for example, liquid soap making, biogas, skills of the kind. The fellowships, we bring students from different schools together to share annually, to share bits of ideas. It can be in environment, it can be business, but we get the best students, the best participating students in all our clubs, the students clubs of environmental conservation and students empowerment. We bring them together, they share ideas for a full week. This is a picture of the class that learned liquid soap last year, 2022. And that's a moment of a picture they shared. So our future project is, our future projects are 2. The first one is energy substitution. When we were engaging with youth in our classes of green clubs, most of the youth outside the school are engaged in charcoal burning and bricklaying, businesses of the kind. So we realized that if we can come up with something in this, that we target these youth that are in charcoal burning and we teach them something like briquette making, they can stop cutting trees, and these trees are favoring the environment. So we looked at empowering them with other business skills and offering them some seed capital. This gets them from like these ones that cut trees, maybe for carpentry. If you reduce on their number and give them some new exciting ideas, they can leave the trees alone and do other businesses. Because when we teach them about climate change alone and how it's affecting, it can't help them if it's not putting food on the table. So they need something that is putting food on the table, substitute what is already helping them. So if we can give them knowledge about other businesses that can bring food and are not affecting the environment, it can easily encourage them to go to other businesses and leave the trees alone. On that program, we already have a proposal we are preparing. It may end in Feb. That we want to circulate around and see, so that we can get some funding, and we aim at the project to be for 5 years, and we see how we can implement it. It's just it can be a future project, and it stays a future project until we get funding for it. Then the one down is the school climate liages. When you look at one of our objectives is to promote talent, and to promote talent as we promote environmental conservation. We were looking at any kind of sport. It can be football, it can be girls football, it can be netball, it can be chess, wherever we know we can get youth and concentrate with them in something they love, and we use that to promote environmental conservation. In this, we have a plan this year. In the first holiday that will be around May. We want to do 1 week environmental conservation workshop that will involve a pool table competition, because we realize that in our community most of the youth are engaged in pool table games. In this competition, we shall bring facilitators to always engage with youth from morning to afternoon, then afternoon to late, they engage in competitions of pool table game. So we realize that the only way to get them is to give them what they want, and we also utilize this time to pass on our message. At the end of everything, we plan to get some trees, free trees we can give out at the end of the workshop, so that they go and plant. We look at giving the top 3 winners some scholastic materials in a way of also promoting education. So in this bit, the proposal is already in place, and we are trying to move to looking for partners, local partners here, to see how we can do it, and try to bring this activity out in May. But we also look at in the future other games that maybe like football, creating a gala, but we utilize the morning hours to talk to these youth, get to know more about environmental conservation. Maybe lastly, talk about our team. I credit it. We are a team of 9 volunteers, everyone wherever they are, but whenever we need each other, we need a report, we need financial reports, we need to go and host an activity, for example, a big activity of distributing trees. We all move and come together. In selecting this team, I was a bit strategic, because I got friends that have skills in management. I got people that have worked in organizations that do environmental conservation and education. Then I got people that do environmental change activism. I got one who knows M&E and accounts. So that team is small, full of volunteers, but at least it has every corner of expertise that can help to make things move on well. That's just a bit of what I wanted to share, and I would welcome questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pius. That was really, really inspiring. You are, I've got an old expression from small acorns, mighty forests grow, and you're working with the trees and with the youth, and really, really inspiring project. So we're going to come over to questions, but just from my side, you know, I've got a few questions for after others have asked, but any way that we can help and support as the Climate Emergency Centre Network to raise awareness of what you're doing, I definitely have a look at those funding things. I've read through them, and anyone in this group who can help try and raise some funds and support, maybe we can work a way out to sponsor a tree or link with schools or with Pius's project out there would be great. Okay, guys, so over to questions. I think Penny Q's got one. Do you want to ask that? And just to say, if you want to ask a question, you can stick your hand up, but the reactions thing down the bottom is easier for me to see who put their hand up. There's a little button down the bottom, reaction, smiley face. You raise a hand and then that person goes to the front and I can see who's 1, 2, 3. So I think Penny's got a question. I'm going to lower the hand. Penny, and anyone else, stick your hand up, or you can stick your physical hand up. It's easier with the reaction. Penny, over.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Pius. Really inspiring to hear what you're doing over there. Yeah, one simple question really was like, where are you getting your fruit trees from? I mean, I would love for us to be able to grow mangoes and avocados here, but I don't think climate change has come around that quick that we've got the right climate. And hopefully we won't ever have that climate. So where are you getting your trees from? Who supplies them? And then a slightly more general question is really what do you see as the biggest barrier in Uganda to sort of affecting sort of the wider changes that we all need to stabilize global temperature? What do you see as the biggest barrier? If you feel able to answer it, if not, it's fine. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Penny, for the question as well. The person supplying, we buy fruit trees from National Forestry Authority, the forestry authority of the country. We buy from them because one, their trees are a bit cheaper, and we believe they are the best quality. Or by the time they put them on display, they are of good standards and they can survive the weather. And then the other question of what is the barrier that is limiting maybe climate change knowledge to move to people, I guess it is basically ignorance, I can't say. If you look at the population in towns, they really know about climate change, but the populations in the villages don't know about climate change. Maybe as I was answering this, I realized some other barrier. The communities in a town know about climate change. They have learned about it from social media and news platforms which talk about floods that are happening everywhere. But then the other barrier, I can say it's a political barrier, and we have a lot of young activists in the country that are trying to call for justice of climate.
Thank you. I think we have the same problems, don't we, across the globe? So yeah, thank you for that.
Oh, well.
Beautiful. I think I'm not sure if Rosanna's got a question there. Pius, if you stop sharing your screen, I can see a little bit better if anyone puts a hand up, or do use the reaction down the bottom. Anyone else?
You said I stopped sharing the screen.
Okay. It'll come on in a sec. I'll come off in a sec. There we go. Okay. Ah, Dinah down in sunny Lewis. Hello, greetings. Happy New Year. Have you got a question?
Yeah, hi there. Yeah, Pius, that's really amazing what you're doing. It seems like a really huge project, which, you know, I understand that everything joins together. And so you start thinking about one thing and naturally it spreads to something else and something else. I see that you're a team of 9 volunteers. Is that right? So nobody's getting paid for doing this work. Is that right?
Yes.
I see. So you've got this really incredible vision of this project, and you've got 9 volunteers to do it with. Do you have like a phased plan over 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, something like that?
We have an M&E logo frame or that is complete, a small M&E logo frame. But we are trying. We are in consultation with an M&E expert to broaden it and get the organization M&E plan. But the reason they are connected is because this person that has the M&E expertise was there from day one when we were planning. So that's why projects a bit come in and connect. So we only have the M&E logo frame that can work as our plan. It is for 3 years. So we are trying to develop a general M&E work plan.
Okay. Okay. Because I think my immediate thought would be, you need to get funding to pay 1 or 2 people to hold the project together, because if you're all volunteers, it's very easy. You know, when somebody gets offered a job, they take a job because they need to feed their family, and you lose a volunteer. And if that happens a few times, the project can be hit off course a little bit. And I wonder, do you have any opportunities to get funding to sort of pay a couple of you to do this work, at least for the next year, or hopefully the next 3 years?
Thank you very much. Talking about the volunteers and getting a pay to keep them home, so that to keep them around so that they can feed the people at home. One, we laid it like this, that those ones that are now unemployed can be around, and whenever they get employment, it's okay. Let them go and do the employment, but we request for their time whenever they are needed. When an activity is there, it is in rare occasions that all of us, the 9, are always present. It's rare. But at least we say that we have to make sure always 5 are around, and we have maintained this. Then the other thing about how these people survive, at the moment, since I only called these people to help and volunteer, I pull out most of the finances to do these activities. Because they offer the knowledge and the expertise, so I don't want them to go in their pockets, because volunteering is not easy. If someone really is there to volunteer, you don't need to strain them in one way or the other. So I decided I pull most of the finances from the pocket. It's one time that our board member, the tentative body, one of the members in the tentative board committee offered some financial help. Then about opportunities of funding, in Africa, fundraising is a bit writing proposals and submitting and waiting for funds. But where I work, my boss always says people are willing to help, but the only challenge is that we don't help. Sorry, we don't ask. We fear, we have our own imaginations, we think for people, will this person help? So I decided to test that at the beginning of this year. We have been operating with no office, and this has been a big challenge when we go to people to ask for a hand for us to do activity together. They always ask, where's your address? Where's your address? So I realized we need an office. So this year we are opening up an office probably next month. But what I did, I went to my family members and I told them the rent we are paying is around 25 can I say? No, 25 pounds of the UK, the GBP. So I explained to them, and good enough, they paid for the first 4 months. The money was deposited on the account, and that's really interesting. So I drafted some proposal, I drafted the budget, and I moved it around family members. And so far things, they are promising, though they have only given us rent. And for the furniture, I personally managed to procure some 2 tables and some 2 chairs. So hopefully by February we shall be opening up. But I brought in that to help to show about our fundraising process. It's not like the way you do it out there. Ours is basically writing and submitting and waiting for feedback.
Okay. Nice one, Dana. That leads on. I want to. We'll come up to Helen in a second. I want to ask Rosanna about some of the projects they're doing, see how we can link up. But just a couple of bits of my end is, it's really important. Climate emergency centres. Got some friends who do a project, Street Homeless. They say it's about solidarity, not charity. How can we help each other? How can we learn from each other? If there is, climate doesn't know any borders. We need to cooperate on solutions. So I'm thinking, is there any way that people around the network could sponsor a tree or link up with your project or link up with the school? There are people in this country who are good at getting funding. Just to let the group know. We've got a little echo somewhere, but Pius has sent me a couple of pages that I've read through, kind of funding requests. But if there's anyone in this group who could help for a little bit to look around, see if there's any funding sources, there's a lot more, in this country sometimes you can link into that could help these guys, because I think this is an incredible project. We need to help support many schools and forests, and it's really inspiring. So bit later, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the biogas, how you're making biogas. But other than that, to say, I'm fully up for any solidarity we can do to help you guys get funding. Let us know how we can help. The whole network's here to help you, Pius. That's brilliant. I'll come over to Helen, and then I'll ask Rosanna afterwards if she could say a little bit about the projects they're doing. We're coming up. We usually do about an hour. We maybe go to 8:05 or so. Over to Helen in sunny Leeds. Over.
Yeah, I'm hearing an awful lot of feedback as well, if people can mute if they're not talking. I'm very wary of having some paid workers, because it tends to then be that the volunteers are a bit disempowered. They sort of think, oh, well, Pius is getting paid, so it's up to Pius to do that or whatever. I think if there is funding, it should be whoever's volunteering is getting maybe a little bit of money that day, but rather than having a paid worker, I'm finding in our climate emergency group, the ones that are paid seem to, I don't think it's bad. I think they feel because they're paid, they've got to work harder. So then they don't ask for help when there's plenty of people ready to help. So it is something to be really careful about, I think. And just on the thought of funding, could we maybe get something together and approach Lush, because they do their charity, even the charity pot, it's not a lot of money, but translated into Ugandan whatever they have. I know it's Kenyan shillings, I don't know what you have in Uganda. It could be worth it, and they're really, really helpful. I'll shut up.
Okay, that's good, Helen. I've got connections at Lush. If anyone's got any time or energy, they can help. We're up for helping Pius any way we can. Muti's got his hand up. I've kind of asked Rosanna if she was. Who wants to go next? Muti, Rosanna. Muti's hands on the drawer. Go on then, Muti. Hello, very glad you could come, Muti. Muti does an amazing project called Village 101 in the chat. Very glad you could come. It's an amazing collective of artists and creatives working on space. Muti, over to you. You have to unmute, I think. Muti, unmute. Mute.
Big up, everyone. Appreciate this collective responsibility that's arising in this conversation. I see a real range of experience here, and I love the intergenerational work. So real big up for everyone for showing up today. Brother who is stepping forward with his cause in Uganda. Me, myself, I am from Burundi, Rwanda. So this is all my region. I'm a descendant of this land, and I'm out here in the West, out here flying the flag and making those interconnections as well. With our organization, our CIC, Village 101.
I'm a bit losing, I think it's my network, or maybe. You see, well, hopefully we never know. Otherwise, we can connect afterwards. But I'll just share what I'll share, and if it translates, it translates. No, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm getting you very well. There you go, my brother. You're back. Hey, connection. So yeah, we run an organization called Village 101 that's about harnessing creativity as a vehicle for social change, and we've made a few fashion dance films about environmental sustainability.
And we have a range of kind of art therapy workshops to kind of bring awareness to people around sustainability. You know, we had a deeper intention to be able to bring a show on tour, but then simultaneously as that show tours, the next day there was an integration process with the local community in the village to be able to replant seeds and plant trees as well. So everywhere we go, we're germinating, we're cross-pollinating, we're bringing that energy and people integrating it back into the land. So I see your work there, but also at the same time, to be able to introduce it to your government and make it a kind of nation scheme where every school integrates that as a course is like the kind of the highest progress I feel of what your vision is bringing, so that the government also make it mandatory to these schools. So it's like if there is like a governing board that overrules kind of the standard of education for young people in Uganda, or an advocate you can have that is in the government or in that government or position, and get them as an ally or like an ambassador of what your mission is. I feel like you do very well to have an ambassador as an influencer in Uganda, so that the young people basically would look at that and be like, oh, it's cool to plant trees, or actually no, there's someone I look up to that's planting trees in this way. I always feel that that's influential. And then being able to visually story tell that by social media, by Instagram, by literally just showing the young people the fun activities around the community coming together and planting trees. So it's not just like, it's about climate justice, which is sometimes, a lot of the times, it's like these heavy words hit us a lot, you know, and it's like climate justice, but the action of planting trees is actually a beautiful process of connecting to the land. It's something very indigenous. It's something that allows you to connect to your ancestry, allows you to connect to the ethereal and the spiritual nature of our beings. And if you can show that in a way that feels interactive and it feels fun, I know that it will make massive waves. Just to finalize my point as well, is that with Village 101, we have a festival that happens in October called Legacy 101. That's about platforming the next generation of excellence, especially Black excellence. And we were raising money with one of our shows to help an organization in Uganda called Breakfast. Breakfast, Mr. Mark, who runs a breakdance competition there. And we were sending money over to him through fundraising. And then we were going to go over and deliver some film screenings and some workshops of our work in Uganda, in Kampala. And that was scheduled to be in December. But then there was a few things that meant that the finance didn't come in the way that we wanted to from the show. But now we've resolved that and created new sustainable funding nets to approach the next year. But if you want to link up and share your contact with me and share your organization, then I'm sure in the long run, later this year, I'm probably going to come over to Uganda. I'm probably going to go over to Congo, Rwanda, and I can put it as one of the sustainable causes that we're raising awareness by. And I would love to personally come and see you, personally make a mini series and visual documentation of me coming over with any of the volunteers that resonate with that, and interacting with you guys in a live conversation, and also creating a workshop environment where we can screen some films, we can do some workshops, and we can show people connecting to the land and showing how the art basically engages the young people and allows them to tell their own story through this land and connecting to something that is so essential to all of us, so humbling to all of us, and it also is something that allows us to be responsible for this circle of life. And I feel that if this is something that would happen, then, you know, we can make it something quite fun and make it something quite regenerative and inspirational. So I send you big love, brother. I'm gonna just drop you my email as well, and you know, feel free to check out our website, feel free to send over the information. I've got a bunch of projects on simultaneously, but if we keep the communication open and we're clear with each other, then I'm sure in the near future we will definitely align, brother. So keep on with your cause. I'm sending praise to you, I'm sending upliftment to you, I'm sending protection to you in your cause. Keep doing what you're doing. I know it's hard, but sometimes your perseverance and your strength is the thing that actually is going to see the next generation benefit from your work. You might not see it straight away, but over time, it's really going to impart a massive legacy. And when you connect with the grid of the world, there's more diaspora coming to back you up, brother. So keep strong, keep your heart strong, and we're sending you love, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Loving it, loving the cross-pollination. Really exciting. You know, climate doesn't know any borders. Let's get on with the solutions and plant in the forest. Really, really interesting stuff tonight. And Muti, really inspiring there. And Pius, we're here to help them support. We've only got a little while left, guys. We usually keep it just fairly short to the hour. But Rosanna, if you feel to, you say a little bit about what you said at the beginning about the Buy EPOP project and tipping points and what you're doing. You're linking with East African projects and activists. Over. Or anything you want to say on stuff tonight? Over.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pius. That was really interesting, really inspiring, the project that you're doing. Yeah, I'd love to connect with you more and see how, but I'm also part of Tipping Point, an organization, that a climate justice organization that supports grassroots groups, and we are trying to create this like climate reparations network, and we have some people in East Africa in the network as well. And one thing that we're focusing on is on the Stop ECOP campaign. So ECOP is the East African crude oil pipeline, which is being built by Total. And it was interesting you mentioned Total, which is a French company, and it's also being backed by insurers that are based in the UK. So a lot of the activism that we do here is trying to get the insurers in the UK to not back this pipeline, and a lot of the insurers are the ones that, so we also like do Stop Rosebank, and we did Stop Cambo, so like it's a lot of the same insurers, and like these kind of projects, the fossil fuel projects like happening worldwide, a lot of it is linked to finance here in the West, and so as like there's people from I think all over the UK here as well. It would be really interesting if you want to get involved in like solidarity, campaigning, standing with like Ugandans, and also in Tanzania as well. I think it was like last month there was a few Ugandan students that got arrested because they were protesting the pipeline as well. So but there's going to be a day of action on the 22nd of February, and it would be really great to get people here involved, and it would be great to talk to you more, Pius. I don't know if you are connected to those activists there already, so that's also quite an interesting link for you. I was going to say if you knew any other climate justice organizations to like prop you guys up, that would be really cool. I mean, I can talk to you. I don't know if you already have those contacts, but it would be good. I'll put my email in the chat, and then maybe we can talk afterwards. But there's also I'll put the website in the chat as well, and then there's a documentary if you want to understand what Stop ECOP is, and we'll be doing some screenings in London and hopefully other parts of the UK. So it'd be really great to see more people involved in that as well. Thank you.
Brilliant. Absolutely inspiring. Cross-pollination, that's what it's about. Just a couple of things there as a networker. Can you put any web links in, Rosanna, on the Climate Reparations Network, on ECOP? Links, we know what Total's doing, anything about the action on the 22nd of Feb. Just those links I can then network out to the rest of the network, and we can share around a network and stuff. Really inspiring. Lots of cross-pollination. I think we're coming near to time, but Pius, do you want to say anything to us, tell them, then we'll do checkouts. Everyone want to say what they thought and anything, and saying goodbye kind of thing. We're close sometime, but thank you so much for coming. Really inspired by what you're doing. Want to get you help, support, solidarity, funding, whatever it is. We're here as a network to help and support each other beyond all borders and plant the forest of the future. So thank you very much. Over to Pius for a little bit, and then pass around for checking out and parting comments. Few people have had to pop off already. Pius, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for Phoenix for this closing remarks opportunity. I'm really happy, and it has given me an inspiration that the work I'm doing is good. The efforts I'm putting in are not just going for like, the dream is not mine alone. Having a dream is good, but a collective dream is always more inspiring. When you have a dream that everyone looks up to achieve, it's something good. I love the fact that you mentioned climate change has no borders, and it's really showing up here. Moti, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I love the energy. I love the quick ideas. I love, yeah. Because when you talked about getting someone to represent or like an ambassador for growing trees, that doesn't mean he's representing us only. He's representing a lot of organizations that are planting trees. And here youth look up to them and be like, yes, we have to plant trees. Trees are a necessity for us to survive for the future. Rosanna, thank you very much for hoping to connect. And I've seen the emails, I've copied them and I've stored them somewhere. I'll hit an email as soon as possible. Penny, thank you very much. I would like to thank everyone. Warren, you're not like I've not seen, but I know in ongoing gatherings, I'll be getting to know more of the people. Thank you very much, Phoenix. I can't talk too much. Thank everyone, but I'm really inspired that we have a collective dream together. When I first came to the SEC call, I was surprised to see what is not this way. Our parents are not engaged in climate change activism down this way. And when I first came in this call, I realized it's our parents doing something for us. And I was really inspired. Thank you very much, the SEC community, wherever you are.
Lovely. Hey. Do you want to pass over to anyone else for checking out, just parting comments? Penny, over to Penny. Give me a ring, Penny, to discuss the new Weymouth Centre. That's really exciting news. Very happy for you. Any help we can give. Over to Penny for parting comment.
Yeah, just very briefly. Yeah, very, very inspiring to hear from you all, really, in different ways for different things. I would just be mindful of that last comment you made, Pius, about the different generations. And I heard a young person speak in Hyde Park at a rally, I can't remember, in the summer. And they very much said, you know, the youth, today's sort of generations need us, the older, the more mature, the elders of the community. We both have a role, and we both have a very connected role, and we need to be there to sort of hold you, and you have the energy a lot of the time that we no longer have, but we have sort of lived experience. So yeah, I love hearing what people are doing. Thank you. I'll pass to Muti.
Thank you, Penny. We echoing that deeply, knowing ourselves as the branches and the leaves, connecting ever deeper to the trunk that is the earth, and the roots that run deep into our ancestral technologies that we're constantly harnessing, awakening, and honoring in our beings, giving thanks to the field and the field that's connected us, that's attracted us, these positive intentions for the collective world, and the grid that we're shifting by showing this intergenerational vision coming to life, and everyone having a piece to add to this gigantic mosaic, and the light that shines through is the future that is awakening within us all. Thank you, Pius, for prospering your work and reaching out to Phoenix, and thank you, Phoenix, for creating this ecosystem and this interconnectiveness for us to all share our piece and to uplift this brother here who's doing this great work. And to all of us doing the great work, may we continue, may we be protected in this work, may we find courage in the darkest moments, may we water ourselves and hydrate our beings, and may we innovate our own thoughts and welcome the imagination to dream even further into what is to come in this collective new earth. Thank you, everyone. Ashe.
Beautiful. What's that, brother? Beautiful. Bringing in the ancestors. Oh. Who hasn't? Tanya, Dinah, Rosanna, who wants to go next? Tanya, from Sunny round the corner.
Yeah, I just wanted to come on before we jumped off the call, just to say, yeah, thank you to everyone, and it's been amazing to connect with you all and hear of all the amazing work that you're doing. It's been a really overwhelming couple of days, actually, which is why I was just kind of staying silent and listening to everyone. Yeah, meeting Phoenix yesterday and I've had like an overwhelming amount of ideas and been so inspired. So yeah, just a lot of processing, I think, this week, and yeah, thinking about how I can jump on board with all the amazing projects that you guys are doing.
Lovely. Look, see you Friday. Cool. Rosanna, did you do the checkout? My brain's multitasking my end.
I could do a small checkout.
I'm not sure if I've frozen actually. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, we had,
Yeah.
we heard you well. Oh, hey.
Sorry, I think I froze for a second there. Yeah, but yeah, just sending love to all of you as well.
Rosanna, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for hosting this call. It's so amazing when you can, meet people outside of, well, all around the UK and outside of the UK, and it's really incredible how we can do this and how we can like work together. And I'm just excited for what the future holds. Really nice to see you all.
Okie doke. Well, thank you very much all for coming. Penny, I think I still need your contact. And next week, 18th of January, 7 p.m. is a general network advice and support chat meeting, because groups around the network, exciting news like Leeds is getting a new building and Weymouth getting a new building, and there's about another 5 to 10 in the pipeline. Anyone who wants to help with various network support, we always need help. Lots of centres growing fast. And the week after that, Wednesday 25th, is Donut Economics Action Lab, learning about donut economics staying within the boundaries of the planetary Earth system. Thank you very much for giving us some of your precious time tonight. Hope to see you next week, or come to Cockfosters and get in touch and come and help us get this centre together more. All right, big love. Yeah. Take care, guys. See you soon. Thank you. Save the chat. All right.
Bless up, everyone.
Bless.
Bless up.